Hello everybody, welcome to Flow for Your Neck. I don't know about you guys, but in week 5 or 6, whichever week it is that we've been in lockdown, my neck is really starting to feel the effects. And if you didn't know, the cervical spine is very closely related and tied to our lumbar spine and our low back. So a lot of the times if the head starts to slip forward, if the head starts to kind of slide off the spine, where we really want the lollipop, if you can think of the head as the lollipop at the top of the stick, the spine, we're really trying to get the head back to where it wants to be. So this practice hopefully will give your neck the space that it craves, making sure that your head again is centered over the neck where it wants to be. We're gonna get some traction under the sub-occipital lobe. So this is your occipital lobe back here. And if you can feel right at the base of the skull, this is where a lot of us tend to feel really sticky. We tend to get kind of stuck there. A lot of buildup happens. So we're gonna need a block or a couple of books. I have both back there to demo with. So when we do actually get some traction in the neck, you'll have those. Those are the only props we'll need for class. And then when we're going into the core part in the beginning, we'll be adding more demand, slight small things like lifting the foot up in addition to one leg already being up. And so instead of feeling the demand coming from the neck, since it wants to move forward, oftentimes when we bring demand in the lower, or add demand from the lower body, the neck wants to take it. Can we actually use the web of the abdominals to hold us steady more, so the neck does not take that. So I'll keep cueing to rest the head back into the hands instead of trying to lift the nose and the chin forward. All right, but to begin practice, we're actually gonna start with a lymphatic release, because a third of our lymph nodes live in our throat. And so the lymphatic system, if you don't know anything about it, please go to stopchasingpain.com. Dr. Perry Nicholson is someone who I admire, who I've studied with, who one day I hope to bring to the Kriya Lab for you all. But the lymphatic system is the body's aquarium, is how he describes it. And it is the way that we as humans allow ourselves to remove waste from the body, remove toxins. And so when there's a buildup of waste in the body, the lymphatic system gets overloaded. So we're going to release the lymphatic system and the lymph in the throat. There are many ways to do this. We're gonna be using the flat palms of your hands. So you're not gonna be using like digging into your own neck or your flesh. It's more of a sliding, getting a little traction. So you can hear the sound that it comes across your throat. You're not trying to, this isn't rough, it's just to, again, have some strokes. So they're half circle strokes. They're not a full circle. It's kind of like an up motion and down, or a sliding back and down, and we'll do those different strokes together. But there are 5, and we'd use 15 on each, through each stroke. So you can do a few more, a few less. But yeah, I'll take you through all 5, and feel free to do this at any point of your day. If you have lymphedema or you tend to swell, I encourage you to give yourself lymphatic releases as often as you'd like. Getting your legs up the wall is one of those passive ones. Okay, so our first half moon circle stroke. All right, so we're going to go down towards the collarbone, scooping slightly inward towards the throat. So we're gonna find that soft spot right above the collarbones, and you'll actually kind of go up from there. And we're gonna be sliding up, or excuse me, not up. I already messed up the first one. We're gonna go down and then in towards the throat. So we're gonna start right above that soft spot, go down and over. And if you wanna do both sides of your neck, you go down and in. Just relaxing your jaw here, and again, just getting a little bit of traction, softening your throat. Once you've done 15 of those, go ahead and pause. We're gonna do the side of the neck first, so feeling for where the side of your neck is, not towards the back, more towards the front. We're gonna start at the front of the throat, right next to, you can feel for the bones in the throat here. You're gonna slide up and then down the side. So slide up and back towards the ear and down. I'm doing both sides. Once you've done your 15, go ahead and relax that. We're gonna do, the third one is between the shoulder and the neck. So you're welcome to move your bra or your tank out of the way. You're gonna take your flat hand, go right at the top of the shoulder, come over to the collarbone. And you can do these one at a time. If your arm gets tired, feel free to use your own elbow here. Focus and notice if your head is slipping forward here, if you can actually keep the back of the skull back in line with the shoulder blades and your sacrum, those fused vertebra at the base of your spine. The 3 sacred S's, as my teacher Laura Hyman says: skull, scapula, and sacrum. Also a great technique to just bring yourself to a wall and to bring the back of your skull, your shoulder blades, and your sacrum onto it. Notice if you can hold that there. It's still hard for me. Once you're done with that, go ahead, I'm gonna turn so you can see. We're gonna do the back of the neck, so the back of the head. And you're gonna feel for where the base of the skull is, pardon me, hair faux pas. You're gonna feel for where the base of your skull is, and then you have your neck down here. So we're gonna go right at the base of the skull. We're gonna go in and down. We're gonna go in right behind the ears and down. And so doing about 15 of those. This is great to do right in the beginning of the morning, right before bed, midday if you're feeling stagnant. Sometimes this has given me like an odd nausea, and just focus on your breathing. You're releasing a lot. There's more movement happening. So when you're done with those 15, we'll go back to the first stroke and do that for 15 times again. So for that first stroke, you're gonna go down the kind of front side of the throat towards that soft part at the top of the collarbone and in. Sending yourself some loving energy here, knowing that what you're releasing is straining to your heart to be processed and released. All right, and after you're done with those 15, let's go ahead and head back to your mat. Make sure that you have that block nearby, and then come on down onto your back. The feet will be planted, and as you come down, know that if you don't have a block and you want to stack some books, all of us are going to need different variations, different heights for this. So you're going to bring that suboccipital area, you're going to feel for where the end of the skull is. We're not sliding the blocks or the books down and actually lifting the cervical spine up. So really bring the little notches, right? See if you can really get those. Naturally, the chin will come in without kind of overly double chinning it. It's just a natural dropping. So you're not forcing the drop. This is me forcing it, right? You're just letting the chin naturally come in. If the head is too high up, what actually tends to happen is that you want to lift the chin because there's just not space there. So do what feels best for you here. Let yourself, once you find that space, your hands can rest at the front of the ribs or the lower belly or even the pelvis. And let yourself rock and roll from side to side, keeping the chin down. So again, the chin is going to want to do the work here. We're actively trying to release the neck. Invite your jaw to maybe open. Pull the bottom jaw off the top jaw. If you find one of those sticky spots and you just want to stay, you're welcome to do that for as long as you'd like, taking a few breaths here. This is again just something so nice to release your head or your neck if you have been looking at a computer or your phone and your head feels like it's just been sitting forward. Really let the shoulder blades drop onto the ground. Drop the front of the shoulder heads as well. They tend to love to kind of roll themselves forward. And take another couple breaths here. Maybe you find stillness or maybe you're still moving. Maybe you soften your eyes. Take another inhale. And an exhale. Remind yourself yourself that when we have the head over the rest of the spine, over the rest of the torso, energy can flow more freely, more efficiently, and with more determination than ever before, connected to your core, connected to your heart. You allow for logic and compassion to really begin to meet and communicate with each other.